Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Hey, Are You Still There? This is Mike. I am here, and Beth is not. So you can literally ask, hey, are you still there, Beth? And the answer is no, she is not here. I know this will come as a shock to a lot of our listeners, but Beth and Maria are, drumroll please, in Disney. That's right, they're down at Disney World. I don't think they're doing a lot of like rides and park scene. Actually, what's going to happen is this podcast comes out on Saturday, January the 10th. And on Saturday, January the 10th, Beth is running a half marathon at Disney World. And on Sunday, January 11th, Maria is running her first ever whole marathon. So Beth is running a half marathon, Maria's running a full marathon, and that is taking place this weekend, January 10th and 11th, down at Disney World. They will be back Monday night, or sometime Monday, and next week, I'm sure Beth will talk all about her experience of running what she says is her second and last half marathon. She says she's done after this. She's retiring from half marathons. So I think she's still going to run some 5Ks with me. That is, as you know, one of my big goals for this year is to beat my personal best in a 5K. And I'm going to try to do that sometime this summer, spring, summer, fall, somewhere around there. But anyway, Beth is gone, which means I have free reign to talk about whatever I want to talk about this week. The last couple of episodes where I've had solo podcast, I've dove into the world of conspiracies. And that was a lot of fun and had some good conversations afterwards, some good feedback and chats. But I'm not going to do conspiracies. I think I threw out 6 in the first episode, 6 in the second. So that's 12 conspiracy theories stretched out over 2 episodes. So if you'd like to go listen to those, you can. But today, I think what I want to do for the topic is what Mikey likes. What Mikey likes. My buddy, we'll call him Ross. Ross and I were talking the other day, and we brought up that commercial. Something came up, and we thought about that old commercial. And if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, you saw this commercial a lot. It was by Life Cereal. And to recap the commercial, you had 3 boys sitting at a table. And I guess the parents had bought some new cereal, some Life cereal. I guess it was not very appealing looks wise. It didn't have marshmallows and it wasn't different colors. And so the 2 boys are kind of arguing over, I don't want to eat it. I don't want to eat it. And then one of them's like, let's get Mikey to eat it. And then the other kid says, Mikey won't eat it. He hates everything. And then they slide the bowl over to Mikey, and Mikey eats it, and Mikey keeps eating it. And then they say, Mikey likes it. And the boys eat it. And so that's kind of the whole commercial. Very popular commercial. This kid who hates everything, if he likes Life cereal, then you will too. That was the moral of the story. So anyway, Ross and I were talking about that the other day, and it got me thinking for this solo podcast, I think I'm going to do an episode of what Mikey likes. What are some things that I'm doing right now? Things I'm watching or reading or doing that I just kind of like a little review. Like, hey, here's what Mikey likes right now on January the 10th, 2026. What has happened in the last week or two, or what's in the last few weeks, what's some things I'm into. And so buckle up. We're going to go through what Mikey likes TV-wise, movie-wise, books, and games. So 4 things that I've seen or read or something recently that I'd like to pass on and give my seal of approval. That, hey, if you like this, you might want to try it. So here we go. Mikey likes it. Number 1, let's talk about television. 2 shows that I am currently addicted to. The first one is an old show. It is Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I watched it when it was out live. I have not watched it since. Our youngest son, Josh, he'll be turning 16 in just a couple weeks. He showed some interest in wanting to watch Breaking Bad now. So I thought, well, we'll start watching it. And we are now up to season 4. And I forgot how great that show is. Like, I knew it was on my Mount Rushmores of favorite television shows of all time. But man, it's like, it's been so long since I've seen it. I guess the finale came out maybe 2013, I want to say. So, it's been 12 years and over 12 years since the finale. And it's like I'm watching it again for the first time. I remember certain things that happened, but for the most part, 90% of it, I'm like Josh, I'm seeing it for the first time, and he loves it. And so every night we've been watching an episode of Breaking Bad before bed. And like I said, we're on season 4 right now. If you've never watched it, if you watched it and haven't watched it in the last 12 years, you pick it up again and watch it. It is an amazing television show. Just I'm a dialogue person. I'm not into special effects. I'm just not. And I hate to say that since that's what my daughter wants to do, but I'm not into special effects. I want dialogue. Even when it comes to like music, I don't care about the actual sound. I listen for lyrics. Like, I want lyrics to mean something. I want dialogue to be rich and smart and mean something. And the dialogue in Breaking Bad, there is no wasted word. Not one single wasted word. Every sentence means something. And the acting is amazing. The cinematography, the storytelling, it's a slow boil. I mean, you start watching it season 1 and you're like, oh, it's pretty good. Season 2 is a little bit more. Season 3. And by the time you get to 4, you're going 100 miles an hour. Every episode is can't miss TV. So if you've never watched Breaking Bad, I suggest it. The second TV show that I kind of fell into, this is the other one that's my addiction right now. Jacob has been home, our oldest. He's been home for winter break from college. And for those of you who don't know, Jacob played football in high school. He went his freshman year and actually played college football for 1 year before he decided he was going to hang up the collegiate cleats. As far as competitive college playing, he still plays intramural. He's actually on like 3 or 4 intramural teams a year in football. But he hung up. He transferred schools. But football is in his blood. This kid loves football, loves it. He can play it 24/7. And so there's a TV show that came out recently on Hulu called Chad Powers. And this is a character based off of, I didn't know this at the time, something that Eli Manning would put together for ESPN, similar to the way Ted Lasso was a character, and then they turned it into a whole TV series, which if you've never watched Ted Lasso, is everything everybody says. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing from start to finish. A great, great show. But so anyway, Jacob was home, and we were looking for something to watch. And for him, he's such a creature of habit. He'll watch the same shows over and over. And so it's always The Office or something like that. And so I was like, let's just watch something new. And then I was like, this show has gotten some really good reviews. It's, they say it's kind of Ted Lasso-ish. And I was like, let's just give it a try. So Jacob and I started watching Chad Powers. It is amazing. We love it. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It is Ted Lasso in American football. It is a really, really good show and one that I would recommend. It's TVMA. It has language, but you don't want to watch with little kids. But other than the language, which is like Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso was a really clean show for the most part, except for the language. And the language isn't as bad in Chad Powers. Chad Powers stars Glenn Powell, who's kind of a hot thing right now in the movies and cinema. And so he's, the next big thing, I think. But he's really good in it. And all the characters are. And it's just a really good show. And so, anyway, if you're looking for TV shows to watch, Breaking Bad and Glenn Powell, that is what Mikey likes right now. That is what I give my Mikey likes seal of approval. Next, movies. what is Mikey like in movies? The most recent movie that we watched, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, was the newest Knives Out movie. This came out sometime around Christmas, I want to say. So it's been out less than a month, I think. It's called Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. I thought the first Knives Out movie was near perfect, and I just loved it. I loved Rian Johnson, his storytelling. I think he's an amazing writer. His TV show, Poker Face, if you've never seen that, is phenomenal. But Rian Johnson did such a great job with Knives Out. The sequel that came out a couple years later, Glass Onion, was good. I did not like it as much as the first one, but it was still a really, really good movie. And now, so my hopes were set pretty high for this one. And it also, stars Daniel Craig as he's back as Benoit Blanc. And it's another mystery whodunit. And there's this whole cast of characters. It's very Agatha Christie or Clue feeling. And, you just don't know who did it till the end. And there's always a swerve, and Benoit Blanc figures it all out. And so this one is really good. I actually liked it better than the sequel. So I liked the third one better than I did the second. Neither are as good as the original Knives Out. And maybe I like that one because it caught me so off guard. But the second one, Wake Up Dead Man, is really good. And also, one of the things that was appealing as a pastor is actually set in a church. And it's set in a church setting where the pastor was really just like overbearing, demonstrative, mean, kind of controlling type pastor, minister, priest, and he dies. And so then it becomes this whodunit. And a young minister comes in and kind of takes over the church. And you start seeing like ministry through his eyes versus the other pastor. And you kind of go through all of this as they're trying to figure out who killed the pastor. And there's some really, I don't know Rian Johnson's faith. He's never done anything to make me believe he's a believer or Christian, but there's some really, really good spiritual overtones, not even undertones, but overtones in this movie about spirituality and Christianity and what the church should be about. And this idea of grace and mercy. And it's really good. So maybe that's why I liked it more, because I felt like it kind of tapped into my career a little bit. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So you can stream that on Netflix. You don't have to go to the movie theaters, but you can go watch it on the Netflix if you have that. So what is Mikey like movie-wise? Most recent one that I watched that I really enjoyed, Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. It gets the What Mikey Likes seal of approval. Books. I set a goal this year to read, I think it was 10 books is what I said. And I'm getting there. But I have always enjoyed comic books. But I'm really stuck. I like Spider-Man. I read a lot of Spider-Man stuff. I've always been a Marvel guy, not a DC guy. And I've never really read any what is known as indies, independent publishers. These independent publishers are like Dark Horse or Image or IDW, Boom, that kind of thing. I just never have read those. But there was a series that came out a few years ago, and it's been slowly picking up popularity to the point that I believe they are going to be making a TV series based on it. It's called Something is Killing the Children. And I'd read about it. The art looked really cool, but it was put out by an indie publisher, so I really didn't, I didn't really know what it would, how I would like it. So right now, I guess they have about, 40 or 50 issues out. So it's been going for 4 years or so. But for Christmas, they had put this publisher, Boom, I think is the publisher. They put maybe the first 20 or so issues into a large hardback graphic novel that's really nice. And I kind of threw that out as an idea of something I may like. Not ever reading any of these. And that's what Beth, the kids, got me as part of my Christmas was they got me that book. And so I've started reading that. And I don't know. I know some people be like, well, that doesn't count as a book. But it's thick. It's meaty. And, maybe word count wise, it's not War and Peace, but it's still a book. So I don't know if we're going to count that or not. But that is what I'm reading right now. And that's why I haven't picked up anything else. I've been kind of reading a chapter or so a night. And it's fabulous. It is really, really good. Maybe one of the best comics graphic novels I've read in years. It's original. It's a page turner. You want to know what's coming up next. And it's really, really good. And it's about as a small town that kids start going missing or they turn up dead. And all of a sudden this girl shows up and trying to investigate and figure out what's going on. And not to give too much away, but she kind of figures it out, what is killing the children. And she kind of knew going into it. And so anyway, that's the plot. And it's literally called Something is Killing the Children. So I believe this original run goes for about 18 or 20 issues, which is all in this book. And then I think from what I've read, it becomes resolved. And then she moves to a new town or a new area, new part of the world, who knows what, where it's kind of going on too. So she's a good guy trying to hunt down what's killing the children. And it's a mature book, it's gory. There's some language here and there, not a whole lot, but it's definitely, it's not Spider-Man. All right. It's not Iron Man. It's a little bit more mature than that, but I'm reading that right now and I can't put it down. I love it. And so anyway, what does Mikey like reading? Right now, Mikey likes reading Something is Killing the Children. And if you're not into reading that kind of stuff, just wait for the TV show. If they do the TV show, anything like the book, it's going to be phenomenal. And so it's really, really good. And last, games. I want to talk about this. Board games. What does Mikey like board game wise? I got 2 games for Christmas. One from a friend of mine, Luke. He gave me this game called Harmonies. And then Beth got me a game called Bomb Busters, which was recommended to her as the new hot game. And I think it won Game of the Year in 2025. It won the Spiel Award, which is recognized worldwide as the major award to win. And so anyway, she was able to get a copy of that. Last year, she got me the hot game, which was Flip 7. And that is a phenomenal game. If you haven't got it, it's so much fun. Everybody I've ever taught Flip 7 to loves it. Most of the people go out and buy it. You can get it for like $7 at Walmart. Super cheap card game. So much fun. Playability is super high. Any age can play it. And it plays up to like 18 people. So that's Flip 7. Highly recommend Flip 7. But this game is called Bomb Busters. It plays up to 5 people. And it's a cooperative game, which means you're all working together. In this game, there are 66 missions, I believe. The first few, maybe the first 7, are kind of get you into the game, learning the mechanics. I guess that's kind of like bomb squad testing for you, or training is what I should say. And then number 8 mission is your test. And then 9 starts kind of the official stuff. And so what happens is each person, you have a bunch of numbers. I think there's 4 of every number, 1 through 12. So there's 48. You divide those up amongst everyone blindly, and you put them up secretly in this little holder, and it holds all your numbers. Well, all those numbers are made to look like blue wires. Well, then there's some other wires, red wires, and even some yellow wires that are also mixed in. Those red wires, you clip those, you blow up, everyone dies. Now, As the game progresses, it starts out with one red wire. Eventually, there may be two. It can get up to three as the game progresses. And there's other different things that come into play too. We just played one recently where one of the things was you had to complete it in 15 minutes. So it was like a countdown. And we got it done in about, 12 minutes or so. So we solved it. But everyone's numbers are hidden, and it's almost like Battleship in that you're pointing at someone's one of the little back of the cards and saying, is this a 7? And if it is, then you both pull out a 7 and you lay it down. If it's not, then there's a little bomb meter that gets turned down. So you die if the bomb meter gets to 0. I think it starts out, if you have 5 players, it's on 5, 4 players, 4, 3 players, 3, and so on. Or if I say, is that a 7? And it just happens to be the red wire, then we all blow up. So it is super fun. I think people of all ages can play it and enjoy it. It's not super complicated. It's not complicated at all. You're just pointing at someone's rack and just saying, is that a 5? Is that a 12? And it's a little bit of deduction, trying to figure out, looking at it and trying to figure out what's been revealed, what hadn't been revealed. And you can't have table talk, but there is some deduction, social deduction, and numerical deduction involved. But it is a great game. I can see why it won Game of the Year. Very good game. Bomb Busters. The other game that I said that I was given was Harmonies. Harmonies is a tile placement game where you're going to draw 3 tiles or 3 tokens, and they go onto tiles in front of you. And so you're just drawing stuff, you're putting it down, and then there's certain cards that if you put these tiles in a certain order, you score points. And that's the basic mechanics of it. It's built around the idea that there are different parts of the ecosystem. So there's water, and there's prairies, and there's woods, and there's mountains, and all of these things have animals that live inside of them. And so the idea is that you're building an ecosystem that is harmonious with all of these different creatures and what all kind of goes into it as far as the different things. And so that's the story behind it. The art is unbelievable on the game pieces. Really pretty art, really pretty art on the cards. It's pretty simple to learn, and once you learn it, it goes pretty rapidly. You can play a 2-player game of it in about 15 minutes. And if you add, for each person you add, it might add another 10 minutes, but it's a great game. And so if you want something like that's more of a traditional board game, Harmonies. If you like cooperative games, Bomb Busters, 2 games that Mikey like. And those 2 games get the What Mikey Likes seal of approval. So that does it. TV, movies, books, and games. That's what I'm currently watching, reading, have just recently watched, whatever it may be, that I give an enthusiastic thumbs up to, and my What Mikey Likes seal of approval. That does it as far as the topic goes for today. And the only thing I thought about doing was giving some updates, because occasionally I'll have people that'll ask me certain things about, I hadn't heard you talk about this in a while. How's this going? Whatnot. One of the things that I wanted to, update people on is the store. I'm still getting some folks. I was talking to a friend today, and she said, I didn't even know you had opened up a booth at Cooper's Vintage Village. And I was like, yeah, I opened that up back in September. And so I thought most of my friends had known that by now, but she did not. And it's somebody I go to church with every week. And so she's local, but there is a large, what I would call an antique mall. They call it a vintage village. It has about 120 shops inside of this huge warehouse that's now an antique mall. And I have one of those shops. And I started out with just, a medium-sized shop. I put comic books in there and some other things, and just kind of something I've always wanted to do was kind of run a comic shop. I did that back in September to see how it would go, and it did really well. The first month I exceeded what I had hoped would happen. October went better than that. November went better than that. So every month I've done better and better as more people are finding out about it, to the point that at the end of November, the booth beside of me was actually shutting down. And so I asked for that booth too. So now my space is now doubled. And so I have a really large shop here. I have 2 big spaces, and I've got a ton of inventory in there. I've got everything from comic books to vinyls to hardback books to action figures and Star Wars figures and Marvel figures and things like that. I got CDs. I mean, you name it, pop culture wise, is probably in there. Josh this past week gave me some of his old pop figures that he's wanting to sell, so I put those in there. Maria gave me a ton of clothes that's Disney or Star Wars or Marvel related, and I went through and priced those and hung those up, and a lady there at the Vintage Village gave me a rack she wasn't using anymore, so we've put up a clothing section in my store now, so I'm excited to see how that does. But the store is doing great. I mean, it is doing fantastic. December was the best month I've ever had yet. And all 4 months has been great. I've had an increase in sales every single month since I've been there. And so it's been a really fun hobby that I can turn into a little side hustle. But so the store is doing great. The store is called Recom Comics and More. And so you can find that on the Facebook, Recom Comics and More. I have a Facebook page, and so you can follow that if you choose to follow what all's going on with my comic book store. The other thing, update-wise, is I finished my second book. I sent it to Amazon this past week, and it is set to be published on January 21st. That's when it'll be available. So you can go on now. I know for the Kindle version, I'm not sure about the paperback version, but in the Kindle version, you can pre-order it, and then it'll automatically download to your Kindle on that day if you want to do that, so you don't forget about it. That would be amazing. The name of the book this time is Available. And so the name of the book is Available. The tagline is, what if your greatest ability isn't what you think? So a lot of us think we have certain abilities. I'm not talking about superhero abilities. I'm not saying anybody can fly or lift a car over your head, but we have certain things that we can do. Like, if you're an athlete, you have the ability to run fast, or maybe throw a football or shoot a basketball or hit a golf ball, like that kind of thing. If you're a musician, you have the ability to play music, or to sing. If you're, if you're super smart, if you're an intellectual, you have that ability to be able to read and understand and comprehend complex lessons and things. So those are the abilities I'm talking about. And a lot of times we can lean on that and think, well, that's who I am. And so the idea behind this book is, what if it's not? What if your greatest ability is not what you think? So that's what the book is. It's called Available. It will be available on January 21st. Beth edited it for me. So she kind of went through and corrected any grammatical errors and things like that. And when it was all said and done, I asked her, I said, what do you think? And she said, honestly, it's better than your first one. And I've gotten nothing but great reviews for my first book. And so she thinks it's better than the first one. I think it's better than the first one. And I've already have started getting things together for my third and probably final book. I thought I had 3 books in me. It was just kind of getting that first one going. Last year, I had it on my Big 12 to write a book. I did it. This year, my Big 12 is write 2 books. And so I'm using that as motivation and setting goals for myself. And so I have the second one coming out here January 21st. And now I've already started compiling all my notes and everything and writing the third book, which I've known about for a while, but it's just kind of, I have all my notes. Now it's actually putting them together and writing and getting it out there. And so my goal is May we'll see if I make it, but my goal is to have it written in the next 4 or 5 months and have it out before Memorial Day. So, and then that'll be it. That'll probably be the 3 books that I write, and I'll hang up the old pen, so to speak. But I'll be pretty proud of myself if I can end up writing 3 books, because that's 3 more books than I thought I would have ever read. So those are the big updates for me. I don't want to spoil any updates for Beth or anything with anybody else, but just know that she is preparing as I record this. She is mentally preparing for her half marathon when this drops at 8 a.m. on Saturday, January the 10th. Beth will be probably wrapping up maybe her marathon. I think her half marathon, I think she has to start it at 5 a.m. I think is what time the race starts, and then they release people in waves, and so she won't actually start running till probably 5:20 or 5:30, and then she'll start running. And so, we'll see how she does. Pray she does great. But anyway, I just thought I would do a quick little recap, review episode of Hey, Are You Still There Today? Doing what Mikey likes. I might do these occasionally as I build up more things that I like. Just kind of sit down and just review. There's certain people I like and trust, and if they say, "Hey, I read this or I watched this and it was really good," then it makes me want to read it or watch it. So take that for what it may be. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in to the solo show. Hopefully I hadn't bored you. If you're still hanging in there, thank you so much. Obviously a lot shorter because Beth isn't here. So an abbreviated. Hey, are you still there? So until next week, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. This has been Mike, and I will see everyone soon.